Welcome to the Brand Telling Podcast, where we share secrets, systems, and strategies you can use to unleash the power of story to build and grow your brand. The Brand Telling Podcast is brought to you by the team at Brand Telling, a B2B brand storytelling agency. Now, please welcome your host, principal, and chief brand teller, Arthur Germain.
Probably have a special memory of going to a grocery or supermarket as a kid growing up. Maybe you went with your mom, dad, or grandmother. For me, it was the A&P at the bottom of our hill. The aisles were so narrow, it was tough for two carts to pass one another. But what if you actually grew up in the family business? Lots of companies use the phrase, "we're all family here," and I hate that. They're not all families. I mean, you don't fire grandma. But today's guest runs a family-owned business. He may have had to fire a family member. That's what we're going to discuss today. Welcome to the Brand Telling Podcast. This is Arthur Germain with my co-host, Asaf, the brand chef Bachman.
Thanks, Arthur. Today's guest is Edwin Gutierrez, Vice President of Gala Supermarkets, a specialty grocer with a diverse and international customer base. Gala brings the world of Latin flavors to ethnic communities in America. Through authentic experiences in their stores, they provide multiple generations with a one-stop shop to find the flavors of their home country. Edwin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here, gentlemen. Pleasure.
Now let's get cooking. Ed, can you tell us more about Gala Supermarkets brand and the other brands behind it, like Aurora Grocery Group and Compare Foods?
Gala Supermarkets was a new brand that we decided to create back in 2017. Prior to that, we had operated as the Compare Foods, a brand up in New York since 1989, where we saw that there was a need to provide, ethnic groceries to the Latino community, and that was in Freeport, Long Island. And so the Gala Foods brand came about. It was more of a strategic play where Compare Foods wasn't our name, and we decided that why not create our own brand where we could decide what we want to do with it and then essentially have ownership of our own batter. So that's where Gala Foods came about. And then you mentioned our Aurora Grocery Group. That's actually a family cooperative that we use to provide economies of scale for all our family member stores. We do operate as one unit, despite us having independent ownership of our own stores. So Aurora Grocery Group is pretty much the umbrella that keeps the family connected and united as we essentially work as one.
Who's your target customer here on Long Island and beyond?
So our target customer pretty much is anyone, the local ethnic communities that we serve. So they're looking for quality ingredients to create a recipe from their home countries. So a lot of our target audience are, Latinos, Caribbean, West Indian. We don't only serve those communities, but for the most part, that is who we cater to. Those are the communities that we know best and that we provide the authentic experience for.
For those communities, I mean, it sounds like you're providing something they just can't get in the standard grocery.
You can get your Goya products pretty much anywhere nowadays,
Right.
But we really dig deep and look for those brands that you can't find everywhere. And that's where we kind of provide the value to our customers, where they go into our stores and they get that nostalgia of when, they were growing up in their home countries. Our goal is to connect with our customers and make them feel like they're at home.
So let me get back to something that I mentioned at the top of the episode. You're a second generation owner-operator in the business. What's it like to grow up with the brand?
I mean, it's definitely an interesting upbringing. Not your typical, childhood. I've been working in the supermarket space since I was 5 or 6 years old. My father was busy working, so I didn't really get enough time to see him. So in order to spend time with him, I would go to work with him because that's just how it was, starting.
When you came home from school, that's where you'd go, back to the store.
Yeah, the supermarkets was if I wasn't in school or wasn't in sports, I was working. So from an early age, I was bagging, I was filling up displays, filling up shelves, and it taught me the value of work ethic, something that I take with me to this day. I'm definitely grateful for it. Yeah, sure, weekends and summers, could have been a little more fun, but I'm definitely grateful for the experiences I had growing up in the business.
And as you grew up in the business and now as you changed your role into running, the business with family members, how has your view of the brand itself changed over time?
Well, I guess when you're younger, you just look at it at face value. Whereas, yeah, we sell groceries and people need to eat, so they just buy it. But, there's so many grocery stores, that sell canned goods, cereals, milk, and eggs. So what is it that makes people come to our stores? And in reality, what I think is that they feel that connection to the customer experience that we offer. It's an authentic environment that we try to provide. And, I'm proud to be a part of this brand. That's for sure.
How do you create a brand story and get everyone in your organization, many of them family members, to share that same story?
Well, I think it's fairly easy for us because, we grew up in the stores. Like I said, I'm a first generation American. So the communities that we cater, we deal with a very large immigrant community who face the same struggles that our first generation faced. And we identify ourselves with them. So we're able to cater to their needs because at one point in time, our parents were in those same shoes. So I think that goes with the brand and what we try to provide to our communities. They feel that we are being authentic. They feel that we understand them. And that's what makes the Gala Foods brand what it is today.
Yeah, I love that. I always say, the brand isn't, about the logo and the colors so much as it's about that promise, and it's about what people can come to understand they're going to receive from you. And, the living that authentic brand, having grown up in it and having the similar life experiences as your customers is a great way to tell that story. How many members of your family would you say are involved in the brand?
Oh, I don't have an exact number, to be honest. I
Wow.
lied if I gave you a number. The reality is the Pena family, which consists, it's my mother's side of the family, is 15 brothers and sisters. And
Wow.
within those 15, there's about 70 cousins.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's hard to give a number. It's a one big family affair.
So like how about in
brothers.
percentages, like 75% of the company is some family, it sounds like, or maybe a little bit higher.
I mean, in terms of the Gala Foods brand, it's 100% family owned. Compare Foods brand, I would say a good 50% of the current Compare Foods stores that are out there would be family owned as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So I have a different question. So your brand of stores, right? Your Gala brands, the Compare brands, that's one level, right? Now you have an audience that is, from different countries or has traditions from different countries and culture from different countries, right? And how do you decide what brands you want to carry in your markets? How do you turn people onto new brands that you found in other countries, for instance?
I mean, a lot of what we do is feedback from the community. We may think we know what the local community wants, and then we open our stores with an assortment of products that we think are going to sell. And, we've had situations where that wasn't the case. And we've had feedback from customers. Oh, we'd like to see more of these products. So we really have our ears to the ground. We are catering to each community, a custom tailored store for the locations that we're in. So we do get a lot of help in that sense, where the community's, being vocal of what their needs are, and we listen to them and we get it from, which is the beauty of being an independent store, where we're not a big chain that's just cookie cutter for all the stores that are under the same brand.
Right.
We individualize each store based on its demographic.
Do you have like different people in charge of trying to find new products to buy that are listening to the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that we leave to our buyers and our department heads, since they are essentially our boots on the ground, and they really have a sense of what's moving, what's not moving, what are vendors trying to bring to us. And they'll try things out just to see what's selling and what doesn't sell.
Are there any restrictions on any kind of anything that they could buy that maybe won't be in line with the brand?
So as a grocery store, we want to keep it as a family-friendly environment. We want to be the neighborhood grocery store. So obviously anything that, that isn't in line with, what would be family-friendly would obviously not be accepted at our stores.
Right.
And when you were answering, that thinking about the buyers and all, where are your current store locations? And maybe you could tell me about how you see, one maybe different from another. Is it different by location because of the nature of the audience there, or does an area have a certain flavor to it, or a certain certain kind of a cache that you're like, well, this is that store. This is the store for seen for this kind of an item.
Well, pretty much what we do is we analyze the demographics,
Yeah.
and we go by that. So for example, I'm Dominican. I'm from Dominican Republic. Dominicans eat food that's different than what's eaten in Mexico or
Right.
El Salvador. So, we, like I said, we cater for the most part to the Hispanic community. Not that we only cater to those communities, but those are the communities that we understand the best, as well as the Caribbean communities. So, we understand the nuances of each different cuisine, and we make sure that we have the inventory of those ingredients for them.
That's great. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey there, if you're like most business owners or founders, you may find that after time, your brand has undergone some type of change. Maybe you've launched a new product, a new service, or a new location, or perhaps you've acquired some new talent or capability.
And now your team is struggling to communicate what makes your brand different and what sets you apart as the right choice.
And that's why Asaf and I have launched the Brand Building Bootcamp. It's a focused workshop where we reimagine, refresh, rebuild, and relaunch your entire brand.
We're essentially helping you become a category of one.
The Brand Building Bootcamp gives you a refreshed brand storybook, visual identity, magnetic website, and the tools for connecting your content with your audiences to increase your bottom line.
Arthur, don't forget, we're delivering all this in 30 days or less.
Yeah, no pressure.
Well, we're limiting the bootcamp to only a few clients each month. So if you're interested, let us know.
Yeah, if this sounds interesting, you can learn more at thebrandbuildingbootcamp.com and schedule a no-obligation brand chat with me and Asaf.
And now, let's get back to our podcast. Welcome back to our episode, and today we're sitting down with Edwin Gutierrez of Gala Foods. So, Edwin, can you tell us a little bit about the future of Gala Foods?
So the future, I'm excited for the future. First off, as a second generation, operator in the business. The first generation, they did the hardest part, which was assimilating to a new culture, creating the brand from scratch. Our goal, the second generation of Gala Foods, is to build on that. And what we see is obviously the Latino population, Hispanic population, the ethnic population continues to grow on Long Island. I do see us continuing our expansions on Long Island, but we also have to understand that the Latino, the ethnic community that is currently on Long Island is not the same that we served during the first generation, because a lot of them are like me, that are first generation Americans, that are a little more Americanized. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time. And I definitely see Gala Foods being very successful in serving this next generation.
As a foodie, I love to explore different flavors all the time, and knowing about Gala Foods, where I can go and find things that might not be found at, ShopRite or Stop and Shop, wherever it is that I'm shopping, excites me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really look forward to going and getting lost in your stores, but I'm worried that I will have analysis paralysis and have no idea what I'm looking at. And so I'm wondering if there's a way for you to kind of bridge
Guide
the gap.
somebody.
So that is an initiative that we are currently developing, and it's more of an omni-channel, approach, where between our social media, our in-store demos, where we want to start educating not just our current, customers, but people who, like you said, are interested or get excited about trying different foods. So that is something that in the very near future we will execute, so that it's not just a grocery store for the Hispanic community or for the Caribbean community, but for people who enjoy the foods from those communities.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost like a center for food learning.
Yeah, exactly. Tell
I mean,
us a little bit
I'll be
about.
honest, I'm sorry, but like Food Network was great for our business, because through Food Network and watching all these shows, people started getting curious about avocados blew up.
Right.
Right.
Before avocados, they weren't as expensive as they are today,
Yeah.
and only a certain demographic were you're buying them. Now, avocados have taken the world by storm.
Absolutely.
So, especially for the millennial set, right? So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about your social media and how you use that as a channel.
So one thing that we are trying to work with our social media is to make it an authentic channel to communicate with our customers and to the community. A lot of times you see generic content being posted out there, and we don't want to be that. We want whoever's seeing our content, they're seeing the faces that they'll approach when they're shopping at our stores.
Mhm.
They feel that connection from their screen, from the moment they see an ad on their screen, their laptops, their phones, like they feel that connection to our brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that kind of connection, which, I can tell that kind of gets you jazzed, because that's, as you're talking, people can't
Yeah.
see you, but we're allowed, your smile is huge here. Is that kind of connection, is that really for you, is that part of the brand, that, that community connection?
Absolutely. I'm a big proponent. There's no good in being a business or community if you're not an active participant in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, it's great to have your business in the community, but if you're not making a difference in the lives of the people who are supporting you on a day-to-day basis, then what's the point? It's got to be a mutual benefit. Yes, people get their products at our stores, and yes, we operate a successful business, but what else can we do to help the communities that support us? So,
Right. More than just taking
yeah.
money from people, it's really about connecting with them through something that they have to experience every single day. And that's
Right.
cooking and eating.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And are there any particular events that the stores get involved with in their communities, or something like that?
So, I mean, obviously we're coming around Thanksgiving time. Obviously we do, turkey drives and whatnot, but we do, for example, now that we're talking about turkey drives in our Patchogue location, every year we team up with the town of Brookhaven, where we do hold a food drive. That's usually the weekend before Thanksgiving. It's 2 full days where it's a big event. We have the radio stations there from JVC Broadcasting,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a fun time where everyone gets involved to pitch in, and we get to serve, the needy families in the town of Brookhaven. So, I mean, that's one of the main initiatives that we do. But, there's always smaller events that we're always a part of, whether we're donating gift cards or gift baskets, or, we're helping food pantries out where they're low and they need baby formula or diapers or canned goods. So, we try to help as much as we can.
Yeah, and that sounds like it's also a really good example of how each of your stores may have its own unique thing that they're doing. It
Absolutely.
might be something at one store, it's something else at another store.
So is there any general brand experience you want Gala Foods to leave your customers with across the board?
Well, I mean, for us, what we like to say is that, we want Gala Foods to be the grocery store where you always feel at home. We want you to feel, nice and cozy when you're there. We don't want it to feel just like your typical grocery store. So that's, for me, that's what I want people to feel when they're shopping at Gala Foods.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so this is a soft usual question, but what's kind of your spiciest client story or spiciest customer story?
Well, spiciest, I don't know if it's spicy, but it's definitely something that when I look back, and it's multiple instances, I look back and it really, like, it gives me a sense of pride that we're a part of it. So, every December we do what's called a Free Five Friday. So Free Five Friday essentially is as a way to thank our customers for their support all year. We offer 5 customers at each of our Gala Foods locations free groceries up to $200. So we'll pick 5 random customers every Friday in December, and it's an exciting time. It's a fun time. You don't
Sure.
see that often.
Yeah.
And there are instances, it is Christmas time, it's the holidays. There are instances where we'll have winners that when we announce that they won they break down. They break
Yeah.
down in tears.
Right.
God only knows what their situation is, but we do have instances where people are, I have to decide between buying food for my family or buying presents for my kids. $200 may not seem like much nowadays, but for a family in need, that can make a Christmas very special. So it's something that every time that we do come across a situation like that, where a customer breaks down, it not only does it bring tears to my eyes, but like I said, I feel that sense of pride that we're doing something right, that we're helping people. It's all a community-based thing. Like, we've got their back.
Yeah, you're really living your brand at that point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How was the community response to that initiative when you started it?
It's been great, especially when the winners, then like out of the blue, they forgot us. They just find out they win. It's an exciting time. We make a whole big deal out of it 5 times a day. It's like one big party for like those 30 to 45 seconds
That's
that the winners announce. So it's an amazing time.
That's
It
great.
really is.
So, Edwin, where can our audience learn more about the Gala Foods brand?
Well, they can find us our website at galasupermarkets.com. Also our social media at Gala Supermarkets.
That's great. Listen, Edwin, thank you so much for joining us for the Brand Telling Podcast. I'm Arthur Germain.
And now I'm Asaf, the brand chef Bachman. Thank you so much, Edwin.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us for the Brand Telling Podcast. If you have a story idea or would like to be a guest on the podcast, please send us an email at podcast@brandtelling.com.